Sorry, I took my front tire to my local mom and pop motorcycle shop. They're gonna swap it out for me. So while they are doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and replace the oil on my bike. 2008 Yamaha Riader. I have it on my Harbor Freight jack. So far, no issues with it, even though it does have a recall on this little jack. But I haven't had any problems, so I'm just gonna keep using it till it dies. And so yeah, this is my 2008 Yamaha Riader. We got, I don't know if you all can see, but it's at 46,701 miles. So I kind of went over the mileage already, but I'm running full synthetic, so yeah, let's get started. There's 2 drain bolts up on the front, and then there's one right behind the rear tire for the oil tank, and I'll show you all that in a bit. So yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna make a smaller video than my previous one for you all. So I have this 17 millimeter that I'm gonna use. 17 millimeter for the drain bolts on the front part of the engine. As you can see, I had this one shaved down a little so it fits in there. But whenever you go to put them back, always make sure you start them by hand, because if you don't, you run the risk of cross-threading that front one. So I'm going to turn the bike on real quick just to warm up the oil before I do this. They always recommend to turn the bike on just to warm up the oil. I hadn't started it, so I'm just going to let it run for about 3 to 5 minutes just to warm it up, and then we'll go ahead and drain it. Alright, got the 2 drain bolts off from the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. Got the 2 right there. Quick and easy. That one's still dripping. And then I'll remove the oil filter here in a bit before I do the back, or yeah, I can do the oil filter next, and then we'll drain out the oil tank. Alright, I went ahead and removed the filter. Already got the filter off. Let it drain before I go to the oil pan, or the oil tank in the back. And just keep in mind, the front drain bolt, always started by hand, because that's the first one that gets stripped, or at least that's what I hear everybody say. They always strip that front drain bolt because of the space that you have around it. It's not that good. And like I said, I had my 17 millimeter shaved down to fit in there, so I can tighten it back up. And even then, it's a little hard, so just take your time with that one, so you don't strip it. See, it goes all the way in, and it doesn't need much. I just tighten it. Once it stops, you give it that quarter turn, and that's it. You don't want to strip that one. Don't take much. Plus, it's very hard to get a torque wrench up in there because of the space that you have. There's really no space. That's pretty much it. So let me just finish the filter off, and then we'll go to drain the pan, the tank, the oil tank. So I don't know how you all do it, but I usually just pre-fill my oil filter. I like to fill it up with oil before I put it on. So yeah, I just grab some oil, fill her up before I slap it on. I'm using AMSOIL 100% synthetic 10W40. So almost done. We'll grab a little oil and put on the filter, on the ring. Before we slap it back on. All right, got it back on. I don't know how tight you all go on this, but I usually just try to hand tighten it. Just so I don't strip it with the tool. But if you all have to, it's that same 17 millimeter. I'll just give it a little bit more. There. I'm not gonna give it a lot. Just nice and snug. So now we're gonna drain the oil tank. You'll see that drain bolt is right here next to the shock in the back. So let's get the oil drain pan ready. And here we go. I wish I had more lighting for you guys, but I don't. There we go. So once we get that back one, we're done. We just got to fill it back up. So they recommend you put in about 3 quarts of oil, then start the bike up. Start the bike up for a little bit, let the oil circulate, and then top it off. So we're gonna do that here in a bit. All right, we're all done. Always start your drain bolts by hand. You don't want to strip them. So that one's on. Already snugged it up. Already snugged it up. Nice and tight. And we're good to go. Now we just gotta fill it up. So let's remove the seat. Latch it. Just pull it forward. Comes right off. Set it aside. I still have this original cover for my electronics. New fuel pump. Alright, so let's get that off. And we'll put some fresh fluid in there. Alright guys, just about done. So recommended oil is 20W40. It says on here, with oil filter cartridge replacement is 4.10 liters, 4.33 US quarts. Oh, that's without oil filter cartridge replacement is 4.10, 4.33 US quarts. With the oil filter, it's 4.9 liters or 5.18 US quarts. So I kind of already pre-filled the oil filter, and this is a 4-liter oil SA10W40 full synthetic. So we got just under a quart left to go. So let me pour it in, and then we'll check the oil again. Alright, so we got about 3 quarts in there. I'm gonna go ahead and put this cap back on. You can see it in there. I'm gonna put the cap back on and turn it on. Let the oil circulate, and then we'll top it off as needed. So we're about done. The oil change is done. We're just waiting for that front tire so we can go pick it up. Oh, we're all done. Once you're finished, just discard of your used oil. I usually refill my containers and then take it to my local AutoZone or auto parts store. They usually take the used oil, or you can take it to your local recycling center. But we're done. Alright, catch you all in the next video.